I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax.
Probably more infamous. I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuznetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Honshu.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh, my God, you're such a...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem. You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
It is your boy Evan Hollywood, the IE Network, Heaven Hollywood Experience. We welcome everybody to this live extravaganza. Make sure as soon as you come in, you hit the like button as you come in the door. What's up, Jamina? See, some people, I'm going to put my glasses on, or else I'm going to be squinching all night. We got a few things to talk about. Lot to discuss. Mainly niggers. Mainly niggers. So the Cardi B thing is taking on a life of its own. We're going to get into some of the imaginary players' support and some of the imaginary player backlash. We are also going to talk about ToryLanez and his appeal and what type of chance do you think ToryLanez has. I've seen a lot of Tory Lanez fans say they were very impressed and they were satisfied with his appeal. Then there was some people saying he doesn't have a chance in hell because they said one thing that they don't like is a lawyer sitting there begging and praying and pleading. That lets them know that they don't really think they have a case if they're up there begging and pleading and praying and everything else. I don't know if that to be true. We'll see. I thought she did okay. You know, you got to remember now we're talking about a different judge. It's no longer Judge Harrison. It's a black judge. I forgot her name. Her name, Gillis or something like that. But it's a black judge and a female. So we're gonna see how ToryLanez. Come on, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly. Hear me clearly. If y'all in-words fear me, just say y'all fear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly. Please remember to like coming in the door. Okay? We're going to talk about Drake because it's getting very, very messy. He has now added the GOAT, Jay-Z's company, Roc Nation. And his amended lawsuit adds Roc Nation because Roc Nation was sponsoring or in charge of the Super Bowl halftime show. So that's the reason why. He's added Roc Nation. He added Sony? A couple of more things he added on. And so now in response, we already heard Lucien Grange. We heard what Lucien Grange had to say. And now in response, Lucien Grange and UMG has said, well, guess what? Well, I guess we're going to have to go out and do ourselves a little research. We're going to have to go out and do ourselves a little research. Now, you see, this is where it could get really, really dangerous for Drake, and I'll tell you why. Now, remember, he asked to look for all information on Dave Freeze and Kendrick's kids and Dave Free and Whitney, and information about Kendrick possibly laying hands on Whitney. Now, we'll get to that in a minute. And then we'll get back to this point. Remember the light going through the door, please. I need as many people in here as I need likes. If it gets up to 50, 60 people, I need 50, 60 likes. Now, I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna give you what Academics gives you because I'm not fully invested the way Academics is. Drake is his so-called friend or whatever, so it's hard for him to have any criticism about Drake. And then if he does, he just hopes Drake don't hear it or question him on it. Oh, why don't he just sue Kendrick? So now he comes out and sees that what's going to happen with this lawsuit. Now he says, I would just sue Kendrick. Well, he knows good and doggone well if Drake sues Kendrick, what everybody's going to say. Oh, you're mad because you lost the battle. Some people still say that now. But he can at least fall back on, I'm not suing Kendrick. Have I said over many, many times, you hear me? Yeah. As I said over many, many times when it comes to this lawsuit, I'm not a big fan of him suing. But I do understand why. I do understand why. And I'm not one that goes out there and says, oh, he's mad because he lost. I really and truthfully don't think it's that. I don't think he's mad because he lost. Because he lost to Pusha. At least people like to say he did. He didn't act like this when he lost to Pusha. Right? So I don't think it's that. But what's happening is UMG is now saying, well, we're going to have to defend ourselves. Where are all the people going? We're going to have to defend ourselves now. Right? We're going to have to defend ourselves. If he's got people, can everybody hear me? Like, it went from like 17 down to 7. I was back up to 9. If he's going to have people, on his side, now we're going to have to go and defend ourselves. And I've heard now the UMG has said they have been allowed to seek information that ties Drake to his attitude or his appearance with minors, his interaction with minors. So now, you know what's about to come up. Millie Bobby Brown text, Billie Eilish text, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Jimmy Jam's daughter, the girl on stage. All these things are now about to come up, and they're going to have to go over it. And these girls are going to be dragged back into a lawsuit that they already said they want no part of. They'll probably bring back the footage of him kissing on Kylie Jenner, kissing her on the cheek, I think on her 16th birthday. Him saying to Millie Bobby Brown he misses her. That's what's going to come up mostly. See, him and Billie Eilish, the interaction was mainly nothing. It was more like from one peer to another. But the Millie Bobby Brown, I miss you, and they're going to be saying, why is he saying I miss you to an 11-year-old? And then they're going to say Millie Bobby Brown said that Drake gives her advice about boys. Why is he talking to an 11-year-old talking about boys? Or how old she was at the time, 13, whatever. But Drake is going to have to be prepared because this is exactly what they're going to say. He's got to be ready for it. He's got to be ready for it because then on his end, he's going to have to go and find that woman in Vegas. Because remember, with the whole Kendrick thing, with him allegedly putting hands on Whitney, there was a worker out of Vegas who was working there that night, and she came on TV years ago and said that Kendrick Lamar beat up his girlfriend. I'm sure that's where Drake got that from. That was a rumor that was out there to the point where Kendrick had to answer to it. He was on Hot 97 or on Power 105 and said there's no truth to those rumors. So it had gotten out there so much that Kendrick actually had to answer to it. See, the Drake thing came from speculation. But the Kendrick thing came from somebody who was working in Vegas and came out and said, yeah, Kendrick Lamar beat up his girlfriend last night. That was long before the battle. So it's going to be very interesting who they're forced to take statements from. RGC said Drake's going to win. Darius, I hear you. That's a like button. That wasn't true. Well, we don't know if it wasn't true. We don't know if it wasn't true, maybe, but because why is it not true? Because Kendrick said it's not true? No. It was not Diddy and Cassie because she said it was a rapper and his name started with a K. And then the guy said, Kendrick Lamar? Was not Diddy and Cassie. It has not been confirmed. Whoever confirmed that were wrong. This person did not say anything about Diddy and Cassie. She said, you can go back and look at the video. Puffy's name don't start with no K. And then they asked him about this on The Breakfast Club. And the dates match the dates he got reported. Kendrick was out there with Whitney. They still got the pictures. And that's the same weekend that she got the black eye. Now, maybe Cassie, we have to check the dates. Was Cassie and Diddy out there then? Maybe. You got to check the dates. However, this girl said his name starts with a K. Puffy's name don't start with no K. Whoever did that, they're trying to, it's probably a Kendrick fan trying to clean it up. That was never confirmed by no reliable source. Did that girl come out and say that? No. That girl has not come back and said anything. So the only person that can confirm this would be that girl, because she was the one who was speaking. And if it was Puffy, when the guy said, Kendrick Lamar? So if they're going to ride with that, because that's the only thing that I can remember that's ever been out there that suggested that Kendrick might put hands on his woman. If somebody remembers another one, you can let me know. I don't remember another one. I don't remember another one. But what Drake has done here is about to cause him a huge problem. Now you done added the gold into it. Now you have a problem in your hands, because here's the issue that you're going to have to deal with if you're Drake. Now that you have added Roc Nation to this lawsuit, you've added on one of the most powerful entities out there. You're already going against Loose and Grange, which ain't smart in itself. If they come and present this evidence, and if they come and present more evidence or enough speculation, I'm telling you, I already predicted. I thought they was going to throw it out. I don't think it'll see court. Lucien has said, a lot of people saying, oh, Drake's going to get a settlement. I mean, it's a possibility, but Lucien said he doesn't see any settlement in the future. Lucien said he's not settling, right? And the Drake fans, let me just tell you something. Like I said, I'm a fan of Drake's music. Like when I do these artists, I be a fan of their music. I could care less about their personal lives, right? I don't get into their personal lives. I'm a fan of Drake's music. But for the Drake stans, I don't know why you continue to think that, let's say Drake wins, right? Let's say Drake wins the lawsuit. Okay? So he's going to be richer. You're not going to be richer. Right? It's still not going to take it's still not going to take the L away. He's still going to have lost the battle. So I don't know why Drake fans are so excited about this lawsuit. The moment I heard this lawsuit, I was like, oh man, this can't end well. This has been the worst time. Notice this thing going on with Drake. Ain't nobody putting no music. The whole record label is in limbo. The whole industry's in limbo. Yeah, Kendrick's on tour, but I want to see Kendrick Lamar once he takes his 3-4 years off, and once this whole Drake thing blows over. When he comes back and he's not doing music about Drake, I want to see if this hype continues. Because I know the hype wasn't there before the battle. I want to see what the hype is like 3-4 years from now. When he'll be what, 41? He'll come back. He'll be talking about something totally different. He won't be talking about Drake. Won't be talking about They're Not Like Us. And when it's not so toxic, we're going to see whether the people who was capable of him have now went back to Drake. Or it's like, that's old stuff. That was then. It's going to be very interesting to see. Because hip-hop got the flippity-floppitest people in the world. The same people here that hate Drake now was rooting for, had him number one on your Spotify in the year crap. So we'll see what happens once the smoke clears. But UMG said they're going to bring out information that they're going to bring out information that backs what they said his not attitude. I keep thinking the wrong word. Not attitude, but the way he acts around minors. And I'm telling you, that Billie Eilish one may not come up because that was like nothing. Nobody even talks about the Billie Eilish one. But the Millie Bobby Brown, I miss you text, they're going to be like, well, why? Tell me why a grown man would be saying I miss you to an 11-year-old or 12 or whatever she was. I could tell y'all right now that's going to come up without a doubt. Without a doubt. So we got that on the table. Anybody want to talk about that, you can. We got the ToryLanez situation on the table again, and he had his appeal. His appeal was heard after they denied two of his plea for new evidence to be brought into the case. They said no can do. This ain't no new evidence. What else you got? So the evidence as far as the DNA, for all of y'all who are saying, oh, they already shot that down. The new DNA stuff, they already shot down. The other situation where he said the bodyguard of Kelsey Harris said he heard Kelsey tell her that how she gonna tell on herself and what happened with Tory. They shot that down too. So you won't have that. Tory's best case, in my opinion, is going to come down to two things. To me, this is Tory's best chance. One, ineffective counsel. They can say, oh, his lawyer quit at his lead attorney quit at the last minute. That did not give George enough time to prepare. If he did, we would have been able to cross-examine this and cross-examine that. But because he was not prepared, because he left his trial, what's his name? ToryLanez attorney left the trial in the middle of it. He didn't have a chance. Either attorney, ineffective counsel, or the gun fingerprints. They're going to say it never came back to, the gun fingerprints. They never had anybody's fingerprints on it. So to me, in my opinion, that's his two best chances. Because it looks like everything else that they brought up about this case, they're like, nah. Now, I'm not going to be like Megan Cuniff and a couple of other people out there that says Tory Lanez has no chance. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say he has a slight chance, but I'm not going to say he has no chance. Because I like to go by body language, and it was just something about when that little white lady was praying and saying, but we would have been able, Your Honor, to cross-examine if we would have been given the chance. He didn't have an opportunity, Your Honor, to do it. It's just something about, and then there was something that the judge said. So to the person about the social media, if she can convince them that social media post played a big role in Tory not getting not guilty, if she could prove that that because of that social media post, a lot of people believed it, that he was not guilty, and we didn't get a chance to cross-examine about the post, this, and the third. If he can convince her or something like that, I could see this black woman trying to say, you know what? They already have us always crapping on black men. He's already did 2-3 years. So I'm going to call it misconduct and give him another opportunity at another trial. Not saying you're innocent, but you're going to get another trial. I could see that happening. I'm telling you. I couldn't see it happening 6 months ago. But I can really see it happening, him getting another trial. I just can. Now, will it? Who knows? But I absolutely can see it happening. I can see the judge saying, yeah, well, that is mighty funny that she's got scars on her and Tory Lanez don't have no scars. But yet and still she got the scar from him and she said she was fighting back. Well, how come he doesn't have any scars? Right? And I can hear her saying, those, 2 people or 3 people said the girls were fighting, and then neither girl mentioned the fight. But then 2 other people said they saw them fighting, but these 2 girls didn't mention fight not once. I'm telling you, man. I can see it, dude. I can see it. I can see it. Now, again, will it happen? What's up? Will it happen? It's a difference between hearsay and receipts. I definitely don't give the whole milk community the benefit of the doubt with their history. Right. I mean, the Tory Lanez case, I see things for Tory, and I see the things for the prosecution. I see both. I see both. But as of right now, Tory's going to be behind the 8 ball because he's already been sentenced. He's got to get that sentence overturned. He has to make this judge believe that a judge in their own jurisdiction, and they're saying, I'm sure they even know Judge Harrison. We don't know this woman's relationship with Judge Harrison. We don't know whether this might be Judge Harrison's lover. And Tory Lanez is sitting up there crapping on Judge Harrison. We don't know. But I'm sure she knows that, Judge. And you're pretty much asking one of his peers to come up and say he made a mistake, and such a big mistake that ToryLanez was found guilty because of the mistake of the judge in the court. That's going to be hard for another judge from that same jurisdiction to do. Judge Hartford could be this woman's best friend. We don't know. It's going to be hard to do that. Now, the ToryLanez fans, they be running with every single piece of narrative that seems like it's possible, is positive for Tory. They run with it. But, just like they were saying, oh, he's going to be free. Like, the day of his appeal, nobody ever, I'm not going to say it's never happened, but it's very rare that the same day of your opening arguments, you get freed. It just doesn't happen that way. But I know the ToryLanez fans are a little delusional, and what do you expect? Half of his fans are barbs who really don't like ToryLanez. They just hate Megan Thee Stallion, who, by the way, is not ToryLanez's opponent in this case. But if you left it up to the ToryLanez fans, you would swear that it was Megan versus Tory. Because that's what they've made it, Megan versus Tory. But it's Tory versus the cops, or Tory versus the city of California. So we got that on the table if you want to have any takes on ToryLanez. Now, the biggest thing that's been happening has been happening since last Friday. And that's the Cardi B situation with Imaginary Player, her song, Imaginary Playerz, and content creators along with podcasters. Now, for the most part, I'm going to say maybe for the first 10 to 15 hours, I'm going to say it was 95% pro Cardi. And I want to get into, a lot of people saying it's garbage. Oh, what are you talking about? I'm going to get in some of my comments. So I just want to find out. So what exactly was garbage, in your opinion? Was the bars garbage? So if somebody else said those bars, you think the bars are still garbage? Or are they garbage just because Cardi B was reciting it? And if somebody else recited it, you think it would blow up? So I don't understand why. And I'm going to tell you, the funny thing is they did the same thing with Big Paper. Everybody still laughs at me to this day about Big Paper. Because I was like, yo, this is a switch up. This right here, she might be on to something. And then Big Paper didn't do anything and everybody was laughing at me. But they did the same thing when she tried to do Big Paper. Same digs. She's off beat. She's chasing the beat. And I'm sitting there like, I don't see these things, but whatever. I'll look into it. And just everything, her delivery, the way she pronunciate, her, her movements, her mannerisms. They said everything was wrong. So I said, if that was one of your favorite female rappers, would you still say it was garbage? Just wondering, would you still say it was trash? Or is it trash just because it's Cardi B? I'm gonna try to share my screen. It's a difference between okay. My problem is his music was amazing and Meg's is trash. I only care about the music. I don't care who in jail or who shot who. Right. And now and Desi, I get that. Now, but unfortunately, this is a this comment would probably fit better in the Drake situation because them two was never about music, right? But this comment, I understand what you mean by it. People who just are into the music, they could care less about these two. Me personally, I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. And it's no knock on Megan. You know, I'm not saying she's not talented. I'm not saying she can't rap. I'm not saying she has no place in hip hop. I'm just saying she's not for me. Her looks are for me all day. But as far as her song making ability, I just don't think she has very good song making ability. She can rap. Like, she can rap her ass off. She's great live. She's got great crowd control. And she can rap. But them songs just ain't for me. Her songs just ain't for me. And I don't like the way she puts her songs together either. ToryLanez is hella talented. He can rap, he can sing, right? But to be honest with you, I probably listened to even less Tory than even Megan. I've listened to her. The only ToryLanez album I listened to, ironically, was the one when I thought we was going to hear the story of what happened with Kylie. And we got to hear him say Kylie looking like an angel in a manger. That's the only reason why I even bought that album, because I wanted to hear some dirt. But other than that, he don't do it for me. And he's crazy talented. Right? But the situation with them two, this situation has been going on since 2020, we're in 2025. So hopefully, after this appeal, whether it goes good for Tory or bad for Tory, hopefully this will be the end of it. But which we know it won't be, because of his fan base won't let it be the end of it. Right? So we got to wait and see what happens with that appeal. Cardi B is still the talk with this imaginary Playerz. I've seen a couple of people. I got to call out. Doggy Diamond, right? Let me try to see if I can find what he said. Let me know if y'all still can hear me. So, hold on. So I'm going to call a couple of people out. Now, one, two, 1, 2. Y'all can still hear me, right? All right. So Doggy Diamond did a video. And he said, First of all, you talk about a dude who don't even really like Jay-Z, right? He don't even really like Jay-Z. He don't really like Drake. Now, Doggy Diamonds is one of the OG content creators who really is one of the first 2 or 3 people that I saw on YouTube and doing celebrity interviews and this, that, and the third. So he's been around. He's an OG, right? Doggy Diamond says, Cardi B messes up a Jay-Z classic. Cardi B messes up a Jay-Z classic. Now, first of all, Doggy, and shout out to Doggy Diamonds. First of all, imaginary players, and I'm speaking for all Jay-Z fans. I am a Jay-Z fan. Doggy Diamonds is not a fan of Jay-Z. He could talk all he wants about, oh, I didn't say I don't like Jay-Z. You say something negative about Jay-Z almost every show. So I don't consider Doggy Diamonds as a fan of Jay-Z's. But I am a fan of Jay-Z's. And let me just let you know, bruh. Imaginary Players is not a classic to Jay-Z fans. That's not a classic. That's number one. If you want to say it's a cult classic or it's a fan favorite, yeah, the Jay-Z fans like the song's a fan favorite. It was a Mace diss. So fans like the song, but Imaginary Players is not a classic. That's number one. Number two, how did she mess up the song? What a lot of these people do is, now I have, to be honest with you, I have not even clicked that video. But I know he was insulting Cardi B. He don't really like Cardi like that. and I haven't even really clicked the video. But for anybody who did click the video, can somebody tell me what was his facts or basis for saying she messed up the song? If anybody clicked on that video, if not, I can click it on here. I just don't feel like getting into a long video with him. Personally, her cadence, flow, and pronunciations are all off. Okay, so right. Well, you're not so, and I'm glad you said that, Jazz. I'm glad you said that, Jazz. You know why? Hold on. She didn't do it justice. Well, guess what, Jazz? I'm glad you said that. She's not supposed to. You're not supposed to. You know what your number one goal and remaking a song is not to F it up. Don't F it up. So when he said her cadence, That's false. She had the same cadence as Jay-Z. Matter of fact, if you put both their songs on together, their cadence is almost identical. So when they say the cadence was off, well, guess what? Jay-Z's cadence was off on the song because Jay-Z raps with an off cadence. Jay-Z's cadence is always like that. But if you put those songs on together, the cadence are almost identical. Now, again, if you have a problem with her accent and her enunciation, then that's one thing. But you can't say the cadence was off when it's the exact same cadence as Jay-Z. The exact same cadence. And people just have to sit back. People just got to sit back and ask themselves something. Jay-Z is very, very particular with his work. You're talking about a dude who up until about 5 years ago would not even allow Spotify to have it to stream his music. Remember, Jay-Z was not always on Spotify. He did not allow Spotify to stream his music for many years. So Jay-Z's very particular. Jay-Z also heard this record prior, right? Cardi B even said, I was prepared to do the record over. I was prepared to write the whole record over. But Jay-Z heard that record. And it's not like, oh, she was prepared for him to turn it down. But she said, if he says he don't like it, I was prepared to go rewrite it. Now, again, it's Jay-Z's record. Can Jay-Z being in a lot of people's mind the GOAT? A lot of people say Jay-Z's the GOAT, right? Jay-Z's been rapping since the 80s. Jay-Z's the most accomplished rapper ever in the history of rap. Can we at least give Jay-Z credit for knowing maybe a little bit of hip hop? I think he knows a little something about hip hop. Can we at least agree on that? That Jay-Z, if he's made the most money from rap, right? And Jay was never no fashion guy. Not really. They did the Rockaway thing when he had Dame. He's never been in movies. He's never really had brand deals. He was a crack dealer. Absolutely, she needed him to clear it. Absolutely. Absolutely, she needed him to clear it. She couldn't do that record without Jay-Z clearing it. Absolutely. If she would have put that record out without Jay-Z clearing it, that record, number one, it would have been off the air same night. Number two, he would have sued her. He would have filed a lawsuit against her. You can't put out somebody's music. You can't go and copy the beat of their song that came out under their publishing. You can't go and copy their beat without them clearing that song. Look at Remy Ma. She got in trouble for using the ether beat. Remember, they pulled that down from streaming services because Nas didn't clear it. At that time, Nas was dealing with Nicki Minaj, so he didn't clear it. If you notice, that's why it never went to streaming services. You got to clear those records. So I like to think that Jay-Z knows a little bit about music, especially hip-hop music. And I don't think if he was not satisfied with this record, I don't think he would have cleared it. He would have said, nah, you got to come with something better than that. Nah, you got to record. If you want to use this, I don't know, promise you using it, but you're going to have to need to record it, re-record it, or write something different. So, and then people say, oh, well, he was wrong because the record flopped. No, because Jay-Z, especially with Imaginary Player days, we didn't look at charts. This chart shit is new stuff. This started around 2016, 2017, when Cardi came out and was like, oh, number one, the number one song. That's when everybody started getting their panties in a bunch and started trying to go number one. Because nobody was talking about number ones before Cardi B. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Nobody cared. I remember Nicki Minaj even making a comment saying, oh, who cares about number ones? Like, can we get back to the music? Until Cardi B came in and made that big announcement, oh, it's the first rap girl to get a number one since Lauryn Hill. I had no idea that Lauryn Hill had even went number one. That's how much we didn't care about charts. A song don't have to be high on the charts for me to say it's fire. I don't wait on a song to hit the charts. If that's the case, I would say WAP is the hardest song ever by Cardi B. WAP was what? Number one for 5 weeks? Or 4 weeks, whatever the hell it was? Guess what? I didn't like WAP when it dropped, and I don't like WAP now. I still don't like WAP because I don't judge on where they go in the charts. I got my own ears and my own mind. For me to decide whether a record is good or not. Hell, I think the Nicki Minaj Queen album, I think LLC is the hottest record on that album. That didn't go number one. That didn't go high in the charts. I don't care whether it went high in the charts or not. Just like I don't care that Fifi went 2. Fifi is trash. That's a trash record. I don't care if Drake's song with Future went number one. That song is garbage. Too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy. That shit is garbage. I don't care if the Tootsie Slide went number 2. That record is trash. So I don't care about whether where it went on the charts does not determine whether the record was fire. You know what I'm looking at more than that? So far, every single rapper, every single what they call OG rapper, OG DJ, They say it's fire. Right? They say it's fire. Jay-Z obviously thought it was fire. So, again, Cardi B is held to a standard that no one else is held to. This is how you could tell, as much as they want to say, oh, we don't care about Cardi B. Oh, we don't think of Cardi B as a real rapper, or we don't compare Cardi B to this or compare Cardi B to that one. But you kind of do, because everybody's waiting for the drop. Everybody knows when she's dropping. Everybody is waiting by their computer at 12 o'clock for the drop. So that's not caring about nobody. You know who they don't care about? They don't care about Bia. Nobody cares when Bia drops, or if she does drop. Or if Bia says, I'm putting out a record, nobody says, oh man, I got to set my timer. So you can't say you don't care, because you do care. And then one thing I love about fans, they say, don't ever compare. This is what you got to love about Nicki Minaj fans. Don't ever compare her to Nicki. Right? Then, what's it called? It drops. Imaginary Playerz drops. Oh, well, what about Barbie Dreams? I thought you said don't compare her to Nicki. I thought you said don't compare her to Nicki. So why are you coming to me? Remember I made that video. Oh, what about Barbie Dreams compared to that? But why are you comparing her to Nicki? I thought you said there's no comparison. So people want to hold her to a standard that they don't hold everyone else. For instance, remember Jermaine Dupri a few years ago came out and said, female rap right now is just strip hop. Right? Let me see if I can find it. He said, female rap right now is just strip hop. Jermaine Dupri. Wait. Jermaine Dupri. Strip hop. Stripper music, he said. Hold on. And then a lot of the female rappers came out, and then Cardi B came out and was like, I understand what he's saying, but a lot of these women do make real hip hop. Right? And Dupree. She said a lot of these women do make real hip hop. Says women rap is. Come on now. I see this all the time. Now that I need it. Okay, here it is right here. Here it is right here. Let's see what Jermaine was talking about. This is Jermaine Dupri. And he said this, what? About 6 years ago? 6 years ago.
One skill that CFOs need to really learn nowadays is what is strategy, how to do strategy effectively, and how to implement strategy, because
Started off with Jermaine Dupri. He was talking to People Magazine and had some things to say about female rappers.
I feel like they're all rapping about the same thing, and I don't think they're showing us who's the best rapper. It's like strippers rapping. As far as rap goes, I'm not getting who is the best rapper. I'm getting like, okay, you got a story about you dancing in the club. You got a story about you dancing in the club. All right, who's going to be the rapper?
So different.
Yeah.
What is the thing that you want to see if you're not like...
Just more, I mean, I feel like at some point, somebody's going to have to break out of that mold and just show us, talk about other things.
Well, this was heated and as far as responses to Jermaine Dupri, because that's far from the truth. Now, here's what Cardi had to say.
First of all, I rap about because she's my best friend, you know what I'm saying? And second of all, it's because it seems like that's what people want to hear. When I did Be Careful, people was talking mad in the beginning, like, what the is this? This is not what I expected. I expected this, I expected that. So it's like, if that's what people ain't trying to hear, then all right, then I'm gonna start rapping about my again. And second of all, there's a lot of female rappers that be rapping their ass off and don't be talking about their and y'all don't be supporting them.
Okay, I highly disagree with Jermaine Dupri. I think it's a lot of variety in female rap and always has been. Cardi, Meg Thee Stallion, City Girls, whoever you want to talk about that raps about scripting, they actually do rap about more than that. Kodak Yellow wasn't about scripting. No. Be Careful's not about scripting. No. I like it like that's not about scripting. The joint with Bruno's not about scripting. Press not about scripting. City Girls rap about scamming. Meg Thee Stallion can actually rap. So I would have to know who Jermaine Dupri is talking about specifically.
And there's just so many female rappers. I don't even know how you can put it. Even we were just talking about the BET Awards and all the...
Okay. Now, I disagree with Charlamagne because first I'm going to disagree with Charlamagne, then I'm going to agree with Cardi B approach to what she said. I disagree with Charlamagne because he's taking isolated incidents, but Megan Thee Stallion raps a lot about her coochie, right? There may be a couple of songs where she don't, but she raps a lot about how good her pee is, taking some girls N-word. She raps about it a lot, and yes, she can rap, but that goes back to what I said about. That's why I'm not really a big Megan fan. Cardi B does it. Remember, when Nicki was rapping all through the Queen album, it really didn't get no traction. But then what was her biggest number one? I can dick it, I can ride it, put that dick up inside it. That's her biggest record. That's her biggest record. Not the one where she's spitting bars. Not the one where she's spitting lyrics. So they were all doing it. So he was right about that. However, Cardi B is also right about there's Rhapsody out there. Tierra Whack is out there. Jean Grey's out there. Why don't y'all go check them out? They can rap. Missy Elliott dropped a new album in 2017, 18. Nobody bought it. So, again, I bring that up to bring that to where we are today. People always say, oh, we want something different. We want something different. We want something different. Why you always got to rap about your coochie? Why you always want to rap about... But if their fave does it, then they're cool with it. But they say they want something different when it's not their fave. Then when that person gives them something different, oh, flop, trash. So what? First of all, the song is a slow rhythm song. That's the first thing. So ain't no way she was chasing no beat on a song that slow. That's just once again people hating because Jay-Z sounded the same way. That's Jay-Z's flow. His cadence is always a tad bit behind the beat. That's just the way he raps. So it wasn't chasing the beat. It wasn't her cadence. People are saying that they're just trying to come up with something to justify the rap. Just come out and say, I don't like Cardi B. Like, people these days, it's like there's the truth is always an issue. When you tell the truth, it's always an issue. I mean, people just tell the truth. As far as I go, you'll get a lot more respect from me instead of coming here with the song and dance. Oh, I don't like it because of her flow, her rhythm. Stop it. She could have, like I said before, she could have came in with a perfect record, and the ones who don't like Cardi B would have still found something wrong with her song. The bars on the song was the same thing as Jay-Z was doing. There was nothing really in Jay-Z's song that was so crazy lyrical. He was just popping his shit and flexing. Well, Cardi was just popping her shit and flexing for 2025 status. I guarantee you, for everybody who said they didn't like, if their favorite came on and spit them same bars, y'all would be creaming on yourselves. Oh my God. Oh, did you hear that punchline? Oh my God. Because I ain't heard y'all go off on some mediocre bars like, oh my God, her big game. I'm like, really? So I believe if you took a poll, right? And I put that on Twitter. I said on my Twitter rant and my Twitter post, I said, if you polled all the people who said they don't like Cardi B's record, I said 85% of them will be Barb's, right? 5% will be hotties who no longer like Cardi. Wait, 8% will be Barb's. 5% will be hotties and no longer like Cardi. 4.9% will be, let's see. 4.9% will be the few fans that Offset still has left. And 0.1% will be Candace Owens. Because I challenge you, if you think I'm lying, go into on Twitter, and every person that you see says, oh, the song is trash and she flopped. Go look in their profile. I'd be willing to bet one of my two houses that something about Nicki Minaj is in the profile. Their name is Onika somebody. Something Barbie. %85 of them will be a Barb. And you already going into it with a non-objective and a biased mind. That's the reason why I don't take them as credibility. I don't take them as credible people. Just like I'm not going to take Bardi Gang as a credible opinion on a Nicki Minaj song. I'm not going to take them as a credible opinion. I'm only taking objective people's opinion. People who don't have a horse in the race. Who react to both Nicki and Cardi and Meg and Lotto and Glorilla. Somebody I've seen react to all of the ladies. I'll take them as a credible. And I'm definitely taking rappers, people who's actually rapped before, people who's been in the rap business, especially older people who's heard the Jay-Z record. A lot of these people that's commenting had never even heard the Jay-Z record. A lot of y'all have never even heard the Jay-Z record before. So how you supposed to say how it's supposed to go? If you can't tell me if I was here in real time, and like I said earlier, yeah, that song is a fan favorite among Jay-Z fans, but it is not no classic song like that. And to me, I saw nothing wrong with it. Nothing. The only I already charted out the two things I would have liked to have seen. I would like to see a little bit more on the hook. I think it was way too quiet. And I said her enunciation on some of the words could have been better. The bars was flossing bars, which is what it was supposed to be. Flossing bars. You ain't supposed to go out there with all this trickery, and so that's not what Jay did on the record. Jay was just simply just flossing. That's what that record is for. Enunciation and accent, well, hey, that's something she can't help. She had an accent since Bodak Yellow. That ain't something she can help. Enunciation could be a little better. But as far as everything else, cadence, it's just not true. It's just not true. Oh, well, cadence. Oh, she was chasing the beat. Okay, well, put a record on and put Jay on. So now I guess Jay was chasing the beat because he had the same exact cadence. Same exact cadence. But that's how Jay raps. You know? The funny thing is, whenever Cardi is spitting bars, people try to discredit the bars, and then they know when they hear the bars or people are reading out the bars, they know they really can't discredit it because they know the bars are hot, so they have to say something else like, oh, the way she pronunciates words, or oh, she's chasing the beat. They did the same thing with Big Paper. I played that record over 100 times, waiting for her to chase the beat, and still didn't hear it. I'm like, where is she chasing the beat? I don't get it. Where is she chasing the beat at? But it's like whenever she has songs, she don't have a lot of songs that are bar heavy. so far, her 2 records, or well, Get Up 10 was one of them. But Big Paper and this record are the songs to me that got the most bars in it. I still play Big Paper. I think her bars in there were absolutely fire. But whenever she comes with fire bars, people start saying other things to try to make it her enunciation, cadence, the way she was flowing. No, stop it. If you know rap, which I do, I've forgotten more rap than a lot of y'all niggas even know. I was around, not old, but I was around before rap was really mainstream. When niggas were still rapping in their basement. So I think I'm a pretty good judge of character on rap. Most of the time, if I say something's hot, the majority of the people say it's hot as well. So I'm in the majority most of the time. And if you find yourself in the minority most of the time, if you say, oh, I think this is fire, and most of the people outside of your fan base don't say it's fire, well, guess what? You don't know rap. You just know your you just know your fave. If you don't know anything outside of your fave, you don't know music. And you definitely ain't going to get in no music back and forth with me. That's 2 things I don't play about. Music and sports. There ain't many people who can go back and forth with me on music knowledge and sports knowledge. But again, so Jazz, and I love you, Jazz, but Jazz, let me ask you a question, and I know the answer to it, so don't try to lie. Jazz, you're a Barb, right? You're a Barb, right? Again, you hated her delivery on Up. You hated her delivery on this. It's like you're gonna say, but then you'll say Fifi was fire. Exactly. So then I can't take what you're saying as credible. I'm not even really gonna read it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I appreciate you being here, and I love that you're a part of the live. But I'm not gonna take I'm not going to take a bar the same way, and then vice versa. I'm not going to listen to someone whose favorite rapper is Cardi B and who hates Nicki Minaj. I'm not going to take the same way how when I reviewed the Nicki Minaj song with Lil Wayne, that's a perfect example. I reviewed that song and I was like, yo, her bars were fire. I mean, yo, this remix is fire. But then the Cardi B fans came in, the same thing that Nicki Minaj fans are doing. The Cardi B fans, oh, that song flopped. That song did nothing. Her and Lil Wayne's song did nothing. And you're sitting up here saying it was hot. I don't care. I don't care if the song did nothing. To me, Nicki Minaj's bars on that remix was fire. I don't care if the song didn't go high on the charts. It still don't change my mind. But when Barbs come and tell me, try to critique Nicki, oh, she's such and such and such, I'm not going to listen to them. They don't like Nicki Minaj, so they're never going to say anything positive. Just like you're never going to say anything positive about Cardi B. I hated her flow on Up. That was another number one record. So when she doesn't go number one and when doesn't do good on the charts, y'all run and say, look, it flopped on the charts. Well, Up went number one. Oh, I hated her flow. So again, y'all are never going to say anything positive about Cardi B, and Cardi B fans aren't going to say anything positive about Nicki Minaj. That's just the way it is. So that's the reason why when I see a Nicki Minaj song and then I see a Cardi B fan saying garbage, trash, I'm not going to listen to their review. I'm going to go listen for myself. I'm going to listen for myself and make the judgment of my own. Because they told me that the Lil Wayne song with her was trash. That song's garbage. I was like, I like this record. So I'm going to judge on because I'm judging with objective ears. There's some music I like by Nicki. There's some music I like by Cardi. There's some music I like by Glorilla. And to be honest with you, if I'm going to be totally honest, since 2017, and Glow didn't even come out in 2017. I'll say 2017 because that's how long Cardi been around. So you're talking 7-8 years. In the last 7 or 8 years, the female rapper who I've played the most is probably Glorilla. And she didn't even come out to about 2021, 2022. I played Glorilla's, all her songs, 10, 15 times a day. I played her album back and forth. I put up her video on a playlist. I like her records better than any female rapper right now. Not her bars, not saying she's the best rapper, but her records are better than everybody else female rap. In my opinion, right now, her records are better. So I definitely played her the most. I still play her old stuff. I was listening to her. I was listening to that shit earlier. I was listening to Yeah Glow 2 days ago. I mean, so again, I'm not going to take your if you're talking about somebody else, right? Then I'll probably listen. But I'm not going to listen to a Cardi fan tell me about why Nicki Minaj's song was trash, because they're going to say it's trash whether it's good or not. And vice versa. They'll say the same thing. It's just like Megan Thee Stallion, the song where she went to like 4 or 5 like 4 different flows on the song. And I was waiting to see. I was sitting there waiting to see. This is the day that I was like, you can't take them serious. Because I was waiting to see if they at least said, okay, I'll give her credit. She changed her flow. I forgot what song it was. Any Megan fan will probably be able to tell me. But it was a song where she changed her flow like 4 or 5 times. And then Nicki, people who don't like Megan still came back and said the same thing. Oh, same flow. Like, oh my God, she just changed her flow like 4 times within the same record. And y'all still come with the same thing. That's because they don't like Megan, so they're never going to give her credit. That's the problem with these weirdo fans. The fan base is now weird. I was a Prince fan. You think I sat up there? Oh, Michael Jackson's trash. Michael Jackson's garbage. Because I was a Prince fan? Nowadays, you have to like one person, and unless that person is sucking your fave off, you can't like anybody else but them. Like, what? I had plenty of favorites in rap and hip hop. LL, Jay-Z, Rakim, Redman, Biggie, Big Daddy Kane. Like, I liked that. If I liked you, I liked you. If I didn't like you, I didn't like you. Didn't really care for you, I didn't care for you. But you think I'm going to sit around and be like, oh, I'm not going to like nobody else except my fave? Like, what? That's got to be pretty boring. Then you sit there and you're forced to say that every single record that your fave puts out is fire. And that's how y'all are today. That's how y'all act today. Y'all act like every single record that your fave put out is fire. And that's impossible. That's impossible. Not even they think that. The people who are making the music don't even think that. That every record they put out is fire. That's why there's so many records that don't get seen and don't get listened to or don't get released. So going back to this point where I said the same thing happened with bongos, right? Same thing happened with bongos. If y'all can go back to that time, people have started saying, oh, hip-hop is done. Hip-hop sounds the same. All the girls are sounding the same. All the girls looking the same. All the records are sounding alike. Right? Then Cardi B dropped bongos. Wasn't sounding like nothing, no rap record on the radio. It was kind of like a cross between that shit that Drake be doing and Spanish music. But it's just rapping on it. Oh, that's garbage. So it's like, y'all just want Cardi B to retire, huh? Because no matter what record she puts out, y'all got to complain about it. You're going to find something to complain about. So I guess y'all just want her to retire. Well, that's not going to happen. So you might as well get used to it. So either you want, oh, what about real rap? How come people ain't rapping no more? She just took an old school rap record and remade it and was rapping on the same cadence as the old record. What else do you want? If she changed the lyrics, that would be messing the song up. If she went and made that song about Offset, that would have messed the song up. Be like, wait a minute. Imaginary Playerz wasn't about nobody's chick or nobody's significant other. It was a record where you flossing at. How come she ain't flossing? People would have complained about that. So people always have something to say, man. Shout out to my boy Jay Nolan. He gave me a shout out. I think Cardi B probably reposted him, and he caught all sorts of flack because Cardi B posted him. And I guess people who don't like Cardi B was like, oh, these celebrities really don't love you, bro, or something like that. Hold on. Real quick. This is used under copyright section 107. Right? Let me see what Jay Nolan was talking about.
Out of respect. But this person jumped in and said, she's just shading Armand. Another YouTuber she had a relationship with, but they fell out. I'm very well aware of the situation with Armand. I know they had a relationship. I know they fell out. He said her delivery was mediocre and she was chasing the beat. So she's being petty and counteractive. My point is, ignore any quote unquote love from a celebrity when it pertains to an opinion you've given on them. Ignore them. Remain unfazed. Continue to cater to your actual audience and give your opinion. I'm not sure how somebody liking my opinion is going to change my opinion, but since we're here, let's go ahead and talk about it. Since you wanted to bring up Armand's name, I've said this a couple times before. I'm not going to change my tune. For anybody out there wondering, me and Armand are good. All right. I don't know him personally. I've never met him personally. But I'm subscribed to his channel. I watch his channel. I don't have to agree with everything that he says. I understand his place in this music commentary space, especially, you know, as it pertains to the ladies in hip hop. We have a mutual respect between each other. It's been relayed to me that he also fucks with what I do over here. We don't have to agree on everything, but I will never disrespect him, call him out of his name or anything along those lines. I don't even like when other people do it. Other folks have tried to come on my channel and disparage Armand and call him all types of things. I don't co-sign that shit. I'm not cool with it. I don't like it. Okay. So number one, bringing him into the conversation when it wasn't anything going on pertaining to him, I thought that was very distasteful, and I'm addressing it because I want people to understand, and I want to say it very boldly and loudly since we now have the attention.
And Jazz, I don't mean to pick on you. You know I love you, Jazz. But Jazz said, first time seeing this guy. You know why, Jazz? Because he ain't biased. That's why you never saw him. That's why you never saw him. Because he ain't biased. That's why you probably never saw him. Let me stop playing with this.
I have no problem with Armand Wiggins. I fuck with Armand Wiggins. We have a mutual respect between each other, and that's as far as it extends. All right. There's nothing more, nothing less to the situation. So for if anybody believes that Cardi B only shared my video in spite of whatever went wrong between herself and Armand, if that's what you think, you can think that all you like. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not vying for position or proximity to Cardi B. I'm not trying to be her best friend. I'm not trying to hang out with Cardi B. All of those things are not on my board. I'm a married man with a child. All right. I love my wife. She's a content creator herself. Go follow her. Jamie, that's me. It's very simple. Okay. We'll continue.
This is my guy. Like this dude. This is my guy.
So as far as saying her delivery was mediocre, that's your opinion. That's cool. Chasing the beat, that's cool. I addressed that part a couple days ago. I don't see where she was chasing the beat. And if we want to talk about all the rappers that rap off beat in hip hop, it'll be a very long video. All right. Rapping off beat on purpose was a style for the last 3 years. I don't see too many people that complained about it though. Now, when it comes to getting love from a celebrity, I like that part of the comment. So as it pertains to getting love from celebrities or public figures or people of note, this ain't my first rodeo. This ain't my first rodeo. As a matter of fact, a lot of the subjects of my videos tune in, you know, whether they make themselves known or not, it gets back to me. You know what I'm saying? Armand being one of them. I've talked about Armand and his controversies and things of that nature. When things went bad with Fox Soul, I covered that whole situation. A lot of people blamed him exclusively as to why that thing fell apart. I don't believe.
Okay, so my point exactly. People are taking what people are doing is, and the Joe Budden podcast is also getting chewed out and called out. Because this is what the Joe Budden podcast does. The Joe Budden podcast is so afraid that Nicki's going to give them a call, except Ish. This is why Ish is the only one I really mess with. They're so afraid that Nicki's going to call him up, or Nicki's not going to do an interview with Joe no more, or Nicki's going to say, oh, I thought you rocked with me, Joe. They so afraid to give him a call, they won't even give an honest review. And what they're doing is they're going online, copy and pasting what they see the Barb's saying about the song, and then coming back, taking the Barb's takes and trying to act like, oh, this is the reason why they don't like the song. Nigga, you just took that from offline. Somebody who was already on Twitter and called them all out and said, you don't even feel that way yourself. You went and took that comment from a Cardi hater and then brought it back to your platform where you make $20 million in 1 year. And because you're scared to say it was fire, you're taking the takes from people on social media. Whack. But Ish is the only one that stood on business and was like, nah, she was saying some shit. She was saying some shit in there. So this is the reason why I said, when I go to people for critique and objectivity, I'm going to go to people who don't got a dog in the fight. Right? I'm going to go to people who don't got a dog in the fight. Now, like Doggy Diamonds, I really feel as though Doggy Diamonds don't like the record because he's not really a Cardi fan. He's not really a Nicki fan. He don't really like neither one of them. He don't really like female rap. You know, he will criticize Nicki. He'll criticize Cardi. He'll criticize Megan. He'll criticize Global. Like, I've heard him criticize all of the female rappers, right? So Doggy Diamonds, I could just say is a disagreement. I don't think he has an ulterior motive. He may not like Jay-Z, but him saying she messed up Jay-Z's record, that is not really saying that he's doing that because he don't like Jay-Z. So Doggy Diamonds, yeah, I can see him. He's kind of like down the middle. I'm not taking Ken Barbie's word on the record. I'm not taking any Bob's word on the record. I'm not going to take the same way how I'm not taking Elliot Wilson's word on a Kendrick record. Because he's a Kendrick ball hanger, and he's going to say everything Kendrick puts out is fire and everything Drake puts out is trash. So I'm not going to take his credit. I'm not going to take his word on any of these topics unless it's something where I know he'll be objective on, objectivity on. So again, as far as, and then I'll close it with Drake. I'll go back to my one point about Drake. Go on YouTube, right? Go on YouTube and put in Cardi B. Imagine Playerz, because you know you got Cardi B haters on social media saying everybody hates the record. They do. So you say everybody hates the record, or all the Barbs hate the record? So Zach Campbell, right? He said the record wasn't good. These guys love the record. Lost in Vegas, they are down the middle. They're objective. They don't even really review Cardi B records like that. They love the record. I didn't hear this guy, right? The Hood Babies, and they're Nicki fans. Cardi B popped it. Right? Screwface Jean. 90K views, one of the biggest reactors. Cardi B is rapping her ass off. This guy, Made by Trey. She took the crown with this one. Sean Stacks. She went off. So we know Armand didn't like it. But then people say, well, Armand, you didn't like it because you and Cardi B fell out. That's the reason why you didn't like it. I didn't see them. That's singer reaction. Bar heavy. Oh, I need this Cardi all the time. So where is the everybody hates the record? I'm on YouTube on a open platform. Cardi B went brazy. So she's letting them know. I watch these guys too. Vibe Villa. They hardly even do female rap. And they like Nicki more than Cardi because they're Drake fans. Cardi B talking. This is the biggest, I think, hip-hop reactor on YouTube. I think No Life Shaq, 4.9 million subs. So my point is, this is more of non-bias because they're not connected to a fandom. They're not connected to a fan base. And they react to everybody. Why don't I see more of those people? And I'm going to ask this question for people in the chat. Why don't I see more of those people saying she's chasing the beat? Her cadence is off. Why don't I see more of those people doing it? Like people that out in the YouTube space that really aren't Cardi or Nicki fans. Because I'll say it again, and you guys can agree with me or you cannot agree with me. Twitter is mainly Barbs. There's more Barbs on Twitter than any other fandom. I think even more than Swifties. I don't think Swifties are on Twitter like that. I mean, they're on there. But I don't think they're engaging like that. Like, I don't think the Swifties go and put together, radio night and stream night. I don't see them doing that. And if they do, nobody knows about it. Like you see Bob's trending all the time, or they'll make something start trending. You barely ever see the Swifties trending. So if you see more of a certain fan base online, and if you hang out on Twitter all day, that's what you're going to see, mostly people who are on Twitter. But when you go to a neutral playing field, like YouTube, right? And trust me, there's a couple of people who didn't like it, and they said, "What is this shit?" Like somebody said that. I forgot which guy it was. Armand, delivery is trash. Okay, so he said it. This guy right here. What was this? What the F was this? So it's not like people, I think when I asked that question, people tried to say, oh, that's because the reactors, they act like they like everybody. That's not true. This guy has right here, what the fuck was this? So he didn't like it. Right? And he is objective. So I take what he says credible. He didn't like it. Here's this guy. She talking that. Cardi out here flexing. It's a reaction compilation. She ate this the F down. Now, this guy, I think, and I'm not even going to take what he says serious, because I think he is a Barty gang. Cardi B is back. Cardi didn't write that, and they're getting that from the Joe Budden podcast, because the Joe Budden podcast are listening to people online. But if you go into the credits, she's the only writer in the credits. Everybody else that's in the credits on the writer are producers and Jay-Z. Shocked. Had me shocked. So, again, listen to music and judge music with a fair, objective mind. That's it. No bias, fair, objective mind. And I'll just say this before I go. Drake, this thing's about to get real messy, sir. And I like Drake. But it's about to get crazy. You don't involve Rock Nation in it now? Oh, brother. Everybody's quiet. Nobody's making no music. Where's all the rappers? Kendrick's on tour, so forget him. J. Cole ain't put out no music. 21 Savage, nothing. Ross, nothing. Meek, nothing. Who else? Like, nobody's putting out any music. And none of their music is going anywhere. All the girls doing nothing. This whole thing with this lawsuit, I'm telling y'all, this might end rap, y'all. This might really end rap. You might just have to watch rap on YouTube, and that's going to be it. Because nobody's really messing with rap right now. Nobody's really making good music. The ones who are making the best music, and that's the reason why I like Cardi's record, the ones who's making the best music is old heads. The old heads are what's keeping hip-hop alive. Raekwon just dropped the album. Ghostface getting ready to drop an album. You know Nas gonna keep dropping albums. I think Jay-Z dropping an album later this year. Eminem dropped an album last year. LL Cool J dropped the album last year. They're the ones who's keeping music alive. These younger people, they putting out trash music, and you can tell it's not doing nothing. It's not going nowhere. But y'all can let me know down in the comments what you think. We're going to be back tomorrow. Same back time, same back channel. It's your boy Heaven Hollywood for the IE Network. Thank y'all.